Okay, I'm Rodney Piggott, president of the Tobago Writers Guild. The Tobago Writers Guild is a non-profit organization founded around 2007 by some very concerned Tobagonians such as Lorene Boris Phillips, Deborah Moore Miggins, and others. And their focus was to form an organization whose primary responsibility would be to nurture and grow a literary arts culture in Tobago. Professor Cujo, the individual who's going to be leading off this series this coming Tuesday, he was here last year and charged us with putting together what he termed inculcation lecture series, where we would provide topics that is germane and relevant to the culture of Tobago and the peoples of Tobago, to help to inform them, raise consciousness, and sort of introduce topics into the discussion paradigm of Tobagonians. Give them something else to talk about other than what's going on with Petrotrin and what government is right and what union is wrong and so on and so forth. Let's have more things in our conversation, such as what's going on with our children in terms of their education and so forth. So lectures are important to that degree. Our goal now is come January, 2019, we want to now be prepared to roll out a year of lectures, right? So if it's 12 months, 11 months, we want to have a lecture per month. So we've partnered with the Tobago Library Services, particularly the Scarborough Library, and it doesn't mean that we won't be doing something at Roxborough either, but we partnered with the Tobago Library Services to roll out these series. We're also going to be bringing on board, as part of the committee, persons such as Mr. Reginald Dumas and hopefully Dr. Eastland McKenzie, whom we've already consulted in terms of being one of the lecturers, and she agreed that this is something that is very much necessary. We now want to put that committee together that will then be responsible for selecting the topics that is relevant to Tobago and then identifying those lecture-ready persons who can address these topics. So that's our goal. So by next week, we'll be convening and start the planning phase for that, so that come January 2019, we're able to say 6 months in advance who's lecturing what month and what the topic will be. And we know that there are persons outside of Tobago, even outside of Trinidad, that may be able to provide us here with information that we could use. So those persons, for instance, it may be more beneficial to Skype them in. So the library has the relevant screen where a person can actually Skype in. As a matter of fact, we're planning something like that in the library now, where we want to bring someone on board like a Sekani Solomon, who was the animator in the Black Panther movie, or perhaps a Winston Duke, who was the actor in that movie. We're looking forward to screening that movie, hopefully, and then having a review session on it, where we can now use one of these persons that were very much associated with the movie to lead a review panel on it, and they will be Skyped in. So we have that technology in place where lecturers from outside of Trinidad and Tobago, rather than flying them in, that's something to be considered, but rather than flying them in, they're now able to Skype in and still provide the public with the information that's necessary. Next to the Tobago Writers Guild is we will continue to do what we're doing. We have on the table, of course, we have the next chapter, which is our open mic session. We took this month off because it was back to school month, and we thought it would be good to just let the parents and students focus on going back to school. We're going to be back at Apex, which is our home actually. They've now moved into their new location in the Genie Plaza, which is Stumpy's Bypass Road, the bottom of that. And they'll be doing their grand opening September 28th. And so October 7th, the first Sunday in October, we'll be back there with our open mic session. And we're now working on putting a second day into a rotation for an open mic session there at Apex, perhaps a day during the week, like a Wednesday. We want to work that in. So now we want to have open mic at least twice a month. We're also working on the children's writing competition that should be coming forward very shortly. And we have our reading fest that comes forward in October of every year, and that's also on our table. So we have still a few things to do before the year is out. And then at the end of the year, of course, you know, we have our lecture hair dong, for those of us, of course, who have hair, where we come together, might have a potluck dinner or go to a nice fancy restaurant and just sit back and look back on the year, what we accomplished, look forward to what we hope to accomplish in the forthcoming year, and just relax and have a good time. So those are the things that are currently on our agenda going forward.